Hi everyone, this is Fiona from Lavender Blue, and today I'm making some little pockets and tags using up book pages, and I've used a few other little embellishments. I'm working on a couple of new journals, and they're going to be sort of vintage themed, so I'm just sort of using up what I have. And I'm using some printables, but I'm trying to use up book pages and bits and pieces that I've got lying around. So this is the little tag. I'll show you the pocket first. So the pocket is actually made, the base is actually made from a recipe card. It's not a vintage one, it's these recipe cards here. I got them in a pack just from our local, just from a local cheap sort of variety store, craft shop. And so I got a little packet of those, and I thought that I would use those as the base. And then I've covered them with book page and just folded up the bottom, and then I've put a little label here, which is this is one of my printables. I'm just seeing if that's going to focus. No, this is one of the little bird labels. You get quite a lot in the kit. You get them in this small size like this, and also in the larger size. So that's what I've used there. And then I've got behind there some embossed paper. It's actually watercolour paper that I've embossed because I just like the texture of it. It's sort of soft on the edge there. And then I've just put a bit of lace fabric behind and this little piece of lace here. So that's the pocket. And then I've just put a little bit of washi tape here because it had some words there that I didn't really want showing. And then that's the back of the pocket. So if you have it as a floating pocket, you can write on the back, or you can, stick it to your page. So then the tag is made just out of book pages, and I've backed it with some lined coffee stained paper that I had. There's just a bit of washi tape. This cute little girl here, she's like a little ballerina. She's what I use for my focal point. And then I've used some more of that embossed paper. This is from an old a photo album that I got from the second-hand shop, and I've just ripped up some of that and put that behind, and then a little bit more lace fabric here, and one of my printable words that I've just put these up in my Etsy shop, so I'll link them below if you're interested. And then a little bit of silk fabric up here. So I just wanted to quickly show you. I'm going to make another one, so I just wanted to show you how I did that. Okay, so I've already just put this one aside, and then I've put another little piece of ephemera in behind like that, so it looks very vintagey. And so I've already folded this one up and covered it with the book pages. And I've got my little piece of washi tape there, just covering some words that were on there. So basically I've put it like this, then I've just folded up the bottom, covered the back with paper, and covered this with paper, book page. So that's what I've done so far. And my book pages actually for this one is an old maths book. So it's got some interesting diagrams on there, which I quite like. I think it just looks nice. So what I'm going to do now is probably put a little bit of lace across this one as well. And this time I'm going to use this sort of vintagey, I'm not sure if this is inked or coffee dyed. I think it may be coffee dyed. So I'm just going to cut a bit of that down to size. It's always good to use up some of your book pages because, as you know, we use our book covers to repurpose them into journals, and I always end up with a lot of leftover book pages and I'm not sure what to do with them, but there's so many things you can make out of them. You can make like pockets and tags like I am, envelopes, well, really anything that you can make from your scrapbook papers you can make with your book pages. So it's just a case of dressing them up a little bit. But I think in a vintage journal they look really nice as they are. And I forgot to say too that on the back of this pocket I actually painted over this with gesso, just a little bit, just to sort of make the words sort of knocked back a little bit. And it was originally so that you could, the tag would stand out, but the tag's quite big so it covers it up anyway. But also a tip is to paint them with gesso so that you can actually write over the top. So if you've made a journal card or a tag that you want to be able to write on and it's got the words, it's a good idea sometimes to put the gesso on there and then you can write over the top. So you can do that with some of your pages in your journal if they're made out of book page. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this one down with my tacky glue. And then I just want to decide which one of these labels I want for my, to go on here. This time, quite like this little orange one, this little orange flower. It's really cute. Not sure why my camera's not focusing because it was when I was testing it out before, so see what's going on there. So I apologise for that. So I'm just going to ink this up. I'm not going to put it down just yet because I've got to put some little things behind it. And I'm using gathered twigs at the moment. Seems to be my favourite one right now. So that's done. And then, so this is my embossed paper. And obviously you can just emboss normal printer paper. But I used some, as I said, watercolour paper because I like the way you get these nice sort of soft torn edges. So I just liked that look, well, particularly for the journal that I'm making. And I'm going to leave it white because I like this sort of the contrast of the white against the this, you know, this vintagey looking colour. So I'm just going to cut out a square. I've just found that when I've tried to rip this paper though, it's very, very fragile. And it tries to rip around where you've actually done your embossing. So I thought maybe this time I'll just cut it. Maybe I'll just mess up that edge a little bit with my blade, so just to make it a bit easier. So yeah, just you know, a plain white piece of embossed paper is always nice to add as a little backdrop or a little snippet. It's going to go behind there like that. But before I glue that down, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of ink around the edges. I'm going to get some of that mesh sort of fabric that I have. Well, it's not mesh, I'm not sure what you call it, but it's this. I think I got this in a second-hand shop as well. So, but I'm really loving it at the moment. I've been using it in the journal that I'm making. So I'll just rip a strip of that off. And it's all about layering. This style of work that I'm doing right now. And I just sort of line everything up where I think I want it to go before I glue it down to see what it's going to look like. So I quite like that, so I'm ready to glue all that down. And I'm going to use some tacky glue. I just use a cheap tacky glue, and I find that it's really good, especially if you're gluing things to fabric. It works really well. I'll often just use a glue stick though if I'm just gluing just paper to paper, and if it's a fairly thin type of paper, it holds okay. I just use the glue stick just to glue my pages onto the card, and it stuck really well. So I'm just going to sort of put this across here kind of messily. I'm not even going to glue the edges down. Just like that. And then I'll glue down my little, well, these are the flower labels, sorry. I do have the bird labels in my shop. I think I said these were bird labels. These are the floral labels. Vintage flowers. So that's that one. Okay, so now I'll show you how I made my tag. So I'll just get a couple more book pages. This is my algebra book again. Let's see something. I think I'll use these 2 pages. And so to make it a bit more sturdy, you need to glue a couple of pages together. So this is probably like a mid-weight sort of book page. You can get thicker ones. And just an example of a really thin one is this book here. This is a Reader's Digest, I think. Yeah, a vintage one. And these pages are really thin, a lot thinner. So if I was using these ones, I'd probably glue 3 or 4 pages together. So just keep in mind, you know, the thickness of your paper, you might want to use more than 2. So first of all, I'm going to glue them together. I'll just get my glue stick for this. And I'm going to be making some more tags and probably some envelopes out of my book pages. So I might put that in a video to show you how I'm doing that. Now, and this is also no stitching today, no sewing. I know they look nice when you sew around them and neatens your edges and everything, but I have to get my sewing machine out every time I want to use it, so I don't have a big craft space. So if I can get away with not sewing, I will. And if you have, you know, a good glue, like this particular glue stick I've found really good. It's the blue one, the blue stick, and it goes on blue but it dries clear, but it's actually very strong. I found it better than the Uhu or Yoo-hoo ones. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I found it better than those ones, stronger. And you could use glue stick plus another glue if you're worried about it not sticking, but I've just found, I mean, if you look at this one, it's just glue stick. That's not coming apart at all, and it's got 3 layers. But another, if you're worried, you could put, if you don't want to sew, you could put washi tape all the way around and decorate it like that. I just put a little snippet there. But you could do that all the way around if you don't want to sew. So that's an idea. Okay, so I've got my page. So I just want to get my pocket. And so the tag's got to be a little bit smaller than the pocket. And I don't really measure with a ruler. I just get my paper, put it there, and then put some marks on it. There. And there. And I'm going to rip mine. In this particular journals that I'm making, I have ripped, most of my pages have a ripped edge. Hang on, I'll just show you. This one. And they're not finished, but and I will do a flip through when they're completely finished. So this is just a kind of a sneak peek. So you'll notice that I've mostly ripped all my pages here. Some of them are not ripped, but most of them I have done like a torn edge. Not all of them, but if it's not, you know, on the side, it's at the top or the bottom. And things like the music paper, it's got a torn edge. I got this. And I've just done a lot of tearing of papers, and I just want it to have more of a kind of a rustic finish, and I'll probably fray these edges even more. I just wanted them to be a really nice vintage style. So where was I up to? So I'm just gonna rip this edge for the tag, but because I want the edges, being a tag, I want the edges a bit more crisp. I might use my craft knife. Okay, so where did I put that? Here it is. So I'm going to use a craft knife actually. Doesn't seem to be very sharp today. Oh, that's fine. I thought that I hadn't cut through, but I had. So this tag, I think this one's going to be smaller than the other one, but I don't mind. I don't want them to be exactly the same. Yeah, it's a little bit, oh no, it's roughly the same. So now to back it, I'm going to glue it onto my lined coffee dyed paper. Something underneath there. Make sure I've got glue all over it. And now I'm going to cut that off, or rip that off. Doesn't really matter whether you cut or rip, it just depends whether you don't mind that deckled edge. So now that's fairly a lot more sturdy, a bit more like a card. Now I've got the 3 layers. And you could save this. I can save this to make another journal card, or a journal card or a tag, a smaller one. So now what I'm going to do is chop and I'm just eyeballing this to make it look like a tag, into a tag. And then I will actually punch my hole. Just using my single hole punch. Oops, upside down. There. And then I'm going to reinforce my holes. So I've got my reinforcement rings here somewhere. I had them here a second ago. Oh, where did they go? Okay. Always losing things. Let me. Oh, right here. So yeah, just ordinary reinforcement rings, and I've already inked them up. I just sort of ink them all up. And so I'm going to put one on the front and the back. Like that. And then just ink around my edges. So you can see where I've done the torn edges. They're fine. They're still completely stuck down. But it's just my personal preference that I think they look nice. And they still look nice with stitching around them as well. So, okay, so let's have a look at the other tag. I mean, I don't want to make it exactly the same, but I just want to remind myself roughly of what I'm not even going to bother gessoing the back of this pocket because the tag is going to cover that anyway. So I did put a little bit of washi tape down this side, and I might do that again, but first of all I want to decide what I want as my focal point on this one. So this one I used this little ballerina girl, and I think she is a printable in my fairy ephemera kit. I've just had her for a long time. So I might use one of these labels again. Maybe this one. Yeah, one of the bigger ones. Ink it up. So I think rather than the pink washi tape, I'm going to put just a little bit of vintagey, some Tim Holtz vintagey washi tape down the side of this one. Like that. And that's obviously just for decoration. So I'm going to layer up a couple of things behind the actual focal point of my tag. And I don't like things, you know, directly in the middle. I like them a little bit off center. And I'm not going to do, I don't want to put it down here. The reason being that because these tags, you know, aren't as thick as a cardstock tag, and it's going to go down into the pocket. The pocket's quite tight. I don't want to over embellish the bottom part, but this does still need to actually dry a little bit, and then it'll become a bit sturdier as it dries. So I've got my embossed paper and this is the paper I got from an old, it was an old photo album, and it was very vintage. So I want to rip off some more of that writing. Rip it up. I'm going to put that down there. Over here I had the embossed behind. I just want to see what it's going to look like with the embossed bit in front on this one. Let me tear some of this. I just really like the look of embossing, embossed paper, embossed envelopes, embossed pages. And I'm going to be putting some more in this journal. And I also like the contrast against white and vintage. I think I might have said that before. So that's why I sort of left it white. So I might put that like that. Want him over here a little bit, maybe down there this time actually. About like that, and then I'm going to get a little bit of this. This is going to go behind my word, and so I might put my word I might pull my word up the top this time. Let's just see what it looks like. Now what did I do with my word? Oh, it's here. So I've got the word treasure this time. I'll just ink that too. And you can cut these down. But what I'm thinking of doing actually is, because sometimes you want smaller words. So these ones come this size. You can see in my hand roughly what size they are. And they're also good, by the way, just to hang down from a tag, these ones. But sometimes you want the words to be a lot smaller, so I might just resize these down. Sorry about that, my phone decided to ring. So I'm just placing everything where I think I want it to go. And I think that looks really nice there, except I don't want this to... Oh, it should be fine, because this one goes in and out of the pocket, okay? So should this one. Yeah, and I think I'm happy with it like that. So I'm just going to glue it all down. Okay. I'm going to use my tacky glue. So I want that. What's that? And this one's going there. That one just there. I've got a little piece of fabric. I feel like I've forgotten something, but I don't think I have. You know how sometimes you have that feeling that you've missed something or forgotten something? I think actually what I was saying was about these word tags, yeah. What I might do is add to this printable or make a separate one of them in a smaller size. Same words but in a smaller version. So that's our other little card, and so just to finish it off, I'm just going to put, and it might be a little bit long, put this other little bit through. I think it goes this way. Like that. And there we've got our cute little book page pockets and journal cards. That should go in there all right. And then if I've got another little piece of ephemera or whatever, put it in behind, I think, like that. Okay, So that's the pockets and tags, and as I said, I'll probably be making some more in this sort of vintage shabby style, some more book page embellishments. So thanks for watching, and if you like my video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll actually put all the links below to the little labels and other bits and pieces that I might have used that are in my shop, all the words. I'll link them below the video if you're interested. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.